Hi friends, I'm Nirmal and today we discuss about the strategic analysis part 2. So strategic alternatives and choices are required for evolving alternative strategies out of the many possible options and choosing the most appropriate strategy or strategies in the light of environmental opportunities and threats and corporate strengths and weaknesses. Strategies are chosen at corporate level and business level. For the implementation of a strategy, the strategic plan is to put into action through six sub processes: project implementation, procedural implementations, resource allocation. Project implementation deals with setting up the organizations. So procedural implementations deals with different aspects of the regulatory framework within the Indian organizations have to operate. Resource allocation relates to the requirement and commitment of resources of implementations. The last phase of strategic evaluation appraises the implementation of strategic and measures organizational performance. The feedback from strategic evaluation is meant to exercise strategic control over the strategic management process. Strategic may be formulated it necessary. So the above discussion defines the term strategy and explain various issues, criteria and the process related to it. We have also compared the conventional and strategic decisions making and illustrated how complex the latter form of discussion making is. The strategic decisions making entitles six vital issues that need to be addressed too. These issues are criteria, rationality, creativity, variability, person related factors, and individual versus the group in strategic discussion making. In the competitive times, it is the strategic mindset that needs to be developed in the ethos of the organizations. The managers of tomorrow shall understand and act upon the strategies irrespective of the nature of the job that they shall be doing. Self assessment questions that I ask you that strategic related matters. So the it is often said that a man without a mission in life is like a train without an engine. The mission is the driving force of an individual and gives the directions to his efforts. Similarly, every organization must also have a mission as it gives a directions to its activities. It lays down the blueprint for the future course of action. It gives the board framework within which a firm operates and also defines the value systems which a firm shall cherish and nurture in future. Therefore, the beginning of all the strategies lies in the mission of the firm. The decisions making allocations of resources and implementation of the strategies depend upon the missions of a firm. Therefore, the top management must specify the missions with utmost care so that they can build an organization which sustains in diverse situations and business environment without deviating from the value which it represents. So the lesson shall explain you the concept of business policy and setting goals, mission and objectives, presentations and contents, nature of business policy. It is perfectly normal for companies in the same industry to have different missions and business definitions. Business policy is a mandatory course which is usually included in a typical management studies curriculum. Almost all management education's program offered by the universities and management institutes in India include a business policy course. by whatever it may be addressed. Normally, in the later part of a degree or diploma program, the origin of business policy can be traced back to 1911 when the Harvard Business School introduced an integrative course in management aimed at proving general management capability. This course was based on a case studies which had been in use at the school for instructional processes since 1908 as defined by and others business policy, the study of the functions and responsibilities of senior management, the crucial problems that affects success in the total enterprise, and the decisions that determine the directions of the organizations and shape its future. The problems of policy in business, like those of policy in public affairs, have to do with the choice of purposes, the modeling of organizational identity and character, the continuous definitions of what need to be done, and the mobilizations of resources for the attainment of goals in the face of competitions or adverse circumstances. The comprehensive divisions covers many aspects by business policy. Firstly, it considered as the study of the functions and responsibilities of the senior manager related to those organizational problems which affect the success of the total enterprise. Secondly, it deals with the determinations of the future course of actions that an organization has to adopt. Thirdly, it involves a choosing the purpose and defining what need to be done in order to mold the character and identify of an organization. Lastly, it is also concerned with the mobilizations of resources which will help the organizations to achieve its goals. The senior management consists of those managers who are preliminarily responsible for long-term choice decisions and who carry designations such as CEO, President, and General Manager. These are the persons who are not concerned with day-to-day problems but are expected to devote their time and energy to thinking and deciding about the future course of actions. With the concern for the determinations of the future course of actions, business policy lays down long-term plans which the organization then follows while determining the future course of actions. The senior management has a mental picture of the type of organizations they want their company to become. While deciding about a future course of actions, the senior management is confronted with a wide array of decisions and actions that could possibly be taken. The senior management exercises a choice on the basis of given circumstances and which, in their opinion, would lead the organizations in a specific directions by moving in a predetermined directions, and organizations can attain its plan, identity, and character. Organizational decisions are not made in isolations, and managerial actions cannot be taken without providing the resources for them. While deciding about the future course of actions, 16, the senior management's concerns themselves with the financial, material, and human resources that would be required for the implementations of the long-term plan. The purpose of business policy. Business policy is a term associated with the integrated management course which is generally studied in the later part of the degree of diploma, and it is proceed by the study of functional areas courses in finance, marketing, operations, and personnel. A business policy course seeks to integrate the knowledge gained in various functional areas so as to develop a generalistic approach in management studies. Such as approach is helpful in viewing organizational problems in their totality. It can also create an awareness about the repercussions that an actions taken in one area of management can have on other area individually and on the organization as a whole. The viewpoint adopted in business policy is different from that adopted in the functional area courses. For instance, a marketing problem is not viewed purely as a problem of marketing but as an organizational problem. A course in business policy helps in understanding a business as a system consisting of a number of subsystems, and on the systems as whole. It is of vital importance of the top management in any organizations to adopt such a systems approach to decision making. Business policy helps a manager to become a generalist by avoiding the narrow perspective generally adopted by the specialties, and to deal with business problems from the viewpoint of the senior management. The problem of declining sales volume is apparently a marketing problem. However, an analysis of the problem will shows that its root may probably lie anywhere in the organizations. Declining sales volume may be due to a rising level of competitions, inefficient distributions, uh, faulty sales promotions, inappropriate recruitment policies, misdirected training, inadequate sales promotions, limited commission to sales personnel, failing quality standard, a decrease in the variety of product offered, outdated decisions under utilizations apparently of capacity, demotivating credit policies, and also on. A problem which apparently seems to be a marketing problem may be due to factors not necessarily within the control of the marketing department. A solutions to the problem would necessitate transgressing the artificial boundaries between the functional areas, each of which is looked after by a team of specialists. These specialists, due to their background, training, and possibly loyalty to their disciplines, are unaware and ill equipped to deal with all the problems in entirely. They may come up with short term solutions, but these are only like first aid to a victim when a true diagnosis and treatment is required to mitigate the misery. A generalistic, on the other hand, is better qualified to deal with organizational problems and can come up with solutions that will have a lasting effects. On the basis of the above decisions, we can say that the purpose of business policy is threefold, to integrate the knowledge gained in various functional areas of management, to adopt a generalistic approach to problem solving, to understand the complex interlinkage operating within the organizations through the use of a system approach to decision making, and relate changes taking place in the external environment. Objective of business policy. The objectives of business policy have been stated by authors such as the Steiner and other in terms of knowledge, skills, and attitudes. These objectives could be derived from the purpose of business policy. In terms of knowledge, the learner of business policy have to understand the various concepts involved. Many of these concepts like strategy, policies, plans, programs, and encountered in the functional area courses too. It is imperative to understand these concepts, especially in the context of business policy. The knowledge of the external and internal environment and how it affects the functioning of an organization is vital to an understanding of business policy. Through the tools of analysis and diagnosis, a learner can understand the environment in which a firm operates. Informations about the environment helps in the determinations of the missions, objectives, and strategies of a firm. The learner appreciates the manner in which strategy is formulated. The implementation of strategy is a complex issue and is variably the most difficult part of strategic management. Through the knowledge gained from business policy, the learner will be able to visualize how the implementation of strategic management can take place. In terms of skill, the attainment of knowledge should lead to the development of skills so as to be able to apply that which has been learned, such as application can take place by an analysis of case studies and their interpretations, and by analysis of the business events taking place around us. So the study of business policy should enable a student to develop analytical ability and use it understand the situations in given case or incident. Further, the study of business policy should lead to the skill of identifying the factors relevant in decision making, the analysis of the strengths and weaknesses of an organization. So the threats of the opportunities presents the environment and the suggestions of appropriate strategies and policies form the core content of general management decisions making. The term of attitude, the attainment of the knowledge and skill objectives should lead to the inculcation of an appropriate attitude among the learners. The most important attitude developed through this course is that of generalistics. The generalistic attitude enables the learner to appropriate or approach and assesses the situations from all possible angles. By acting in an comprehensive manner, a generalistic is able to function under conditions of partial ignorance by using his or her judgment and intuitions. Typically, causes studies provide only glimpse of the overall situations, and case analysis frequently faces the frustrating situations of working with less than the required information. Experience has shown that managers, especially in the area of long range planning, have to work with complete information. A specialist would tend to postpone to or avoid a decision such conditions, but a generalist would go ahead with whatever information was formation available. In this way, he or she acts more like practitioner rather than a perfectionist. So that's for the video today. So my humble request is, as I always says, if you like my MBA channel, MBA Crystal Talk, please subscribe, share, comments, and like, and press the bell icon for the updated videos. Thanks a lot for your times.